Hello and welcome to the Live by Heart Today show. This is a show designed to help you navigate change, uncertainty, and the world we found ourselves in. We'll talk a little bit about science, we'll talk a little bit about how our body works, a little bit about intuition, and we talk a lot about transformation.
Streaming from Retro Earth Studio and brought to you by
Learn to play jazz piano like a pro, by a pro, with Jazz Piano Pro Essentials at jazzpianopro.com.
And wearehistorically.com. Conscious brand apparel. It's time for the next episode of Live by Heart
Today.
I'm Dawn Spiegelberg, posture therapist and medical intuitive. I'm also a coherence coach. This is the last show in our growth series, and with me for today's Heart to Heart is my co-host, Wendy R. Wolf, professional transformation facilitator. Welcome, Wendy.
Hey, Dawn. I am so thrilled about our season. Growth, right? Personal growth, professional growth, relational growth, soul deepening and growth, development. So awesome. Yeah.
I had a teacher tell me at one point, no matter who's moving, right? If it's you and they're not, right? Or, right, it's slower here and it's faster here. It's helpful after the shift happens to reconnect from that new place. Who was that teacher? Who was that?
I talk about whenever Michael and I are separate, and sometimes when we're not, but, we've been separate from, long periods of time, up to a month. And we have to recalibrate and get the gears hooking right again.
That was the teacher.
And it looks like we're going to be staying here for a while. And I was suffering and now I'm not. Hooray. Yeah, I was really suffering and I made a big change a week ago and I'm not suffering. Hooray.
Wow.
Yeah.
How do you do it?
This shit works.
You aren't kidding.
All I have to do is figure out, I'm suffering. I have to die to this. I don't want to, but okay.
Deny yourself.
Yeah.
I've been thinking about that
stuff.
myself.
Yeah?
What?
It's been big stuff. Deny yourself you've been thinking about?
Yes. First deny yourself and then take up your cross. And so what's the part that's saying, God, I don't want to, right? Deny that. But this stuff really does work.
Maybe that could be our thing. Connect and grow from overflow.
Yeah.
That's an excellent subject.
Mm-hmm.
Because we're already connected to all. We're already, the hose is just there if we were willing to drink it, to share it.
And we don't behave from lack and emptiness.
Yes.
Which what facilitates all the other tools we have. And obviously we're not going to tell them all the tools, but
right.
When we behave from this way, it's easier to be center of head. It's easier to stay grounded. It's easier to be certain and have seniority.
Do we have a theme for season 6?
Grow.
Right? Okay. So you just said connect and grow?
Connect and grow from overflow. We're already in the web of life. It's just it's a really good theme to say hello to a lot of stuff that we can say more about.
Season 1, neutrality. Season 2, relationships. Season 3, proactive. Season 4, living agreements. Season 5, rebirth.
Awesome. So this is our 6th season. Isn't that wild? That's wild. So I figure I or you could review that in the beginning, Dawn.
You're so good at this.
This part of it?
After I say, welcome, Wendy,
I say something.
That's like a perfect thing to say, wow, we're in growth after neutrality, relationships, proactive, living agreements, rebirth.
Yes. Awesome.
And so do we have a title for this one where we're going to go with Connect and Grow?
So in thinking about it, I like Connect and Grow, and I also like Grow from Overflow.
I think the overflow is the point.
Yeah. So should we leave Connect for another show?
Because it's too long.
Just because we can separate them. We can talk about Grow from Overflow now, and then we can, in our next show, we can talk about how that connects us to people more clearly, more.
We can do more with Connect. When you bring in stories from your kids and your everyday life, I feel like it's very helpful to bring people along and make things real. Also, to show that regardless of how old we are, there's all this wisdom and maturity available to us, no matter how old. I feel like that's really useful to model. We can bring in connection and talk more about it another time. I like that when we keep it short, so Grow from Overflow, but I think the whole connection thing and relationships, it ties in all the things.
It does.
That we've talked about.
It does.
And so maybe I can highlight that.
Yeah, so I think what I'll talk about is the separation that happened.
Yes. And it's very common, bizarrely common.
So one thing I talk about, and I talk about this, are the three: the security, safety, which is the bottom of Maslow's hierarchy; love and acceptance, right, which is second chakra. So we're talking about all the three bottom chakras. And then the third one, self-value, which is where our will comes from.
If all that doesn't fit this time, I think that might be a really good topic as our second show about what do we need to grow.
Growth. Awesome.
I love what you did, Dawn, and I love, last time we brought in less of the physiology, and I'd love to bring that in more this time. Even more on maybe parts of the system that helps us to be in a growth place, a growth mindset, a growth. So I don't know, adrenals. I don't know. Maybe we can say hello to some of those glands and organs that because we did some. Some of them can help us. I don't know. I'm just saying things. Well, we talked about what we need for growth. It's not the title, but those different systems, Maslow and different ones.
I think our title should have the word connecting in it.
The only thing I wrote down for the next show that I didn't say in the last show is we're already in the web of life. What do you want to talk about connecting, Dawn? So
I mentioned the sympathetic nervous system separates us. It really turns on our brain in order to identify the threat. And that's the organ, right, of distinction, of comparing and contrasting. And when we're in a state of growth, when we're parasympathetic, we're resting, we're digesting, it's easier for us to live by heart. And the heart is the organ of unification, of connection, of love, acceptance, compassion, kindness, caring, courageousness, confidence. What are there things you want to talk about in particular, Wendy? We're going to roll with it.
And it's connection relative to growth. And there's all how it affects all our relations. And you already said relationship with our own mind. When I was looking, I got connection is growth. And the way it's growth is that we're actually unveiling into what is, which is the web of life. So I don't know if you follow that, but we'll see if that comes out.
I do follow that.
Okay.
So just to be bold and big, if you think of it from a tribal standpoint, being separated from the tribe is certain death.
Right.
being separated from the herd is certain death.
Mm-hmm. Whereas as the tribe grew and found security, it made space for all kinds of growth,
Yeah.
all kinds of development of humanity.
And that's what they say about the Native American Indians that lived here under Chief Seattle, that they had amazing artwork and beautiful beadwork, and they were developed in different ways from other tribes because they were connected, because they did not live day to day being threatened by other tribes. That's what I read somewhere.
It's interesting because it's such a great place to live. It's temperate. There are a lot of fish. It's easier growing.
Right? There's mountains protecting it
Okay.
from the rest of the...
Cool.
Mm-hmm.
A story that came up for me last time that I didn't tell is my growth as a teacher and feeling more comfortable in front of people because I'm naturally shy. Well, I'm naturally introverted, and I'm shy. I was very shy.
The one thing about being in connection, being in growth, is that it perpetuates deeper connection and more growth.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Because of not being full in their bottle of safety, not being full in their bottle of validation, and love and acceptance.
I got a couple suggestions. Cultivating connection.
Oh, yeah. I love it.
There's a couple other things that could be integrated. If I just want to throw things out there like the vagus nerve and how it positively impacts our ability to connect with others. It's connected to the compassionate response, the oxytocin for controlling human behavior.
Yeah, oxytocin is considered the hormone of love and connection.
Right, promotes bonding.
Here's the thing, the vagus nerve is the nerve that sends the impulses from the parasympathetic, right? So I haven't talked about it because we didn't go into the organs specifically that is responsible for delivering the message of parasympathetic to the organs. Does that make sense?
Yeah. I wonder then
It's the pathway.
If the next two maybe could be, we could set it up with this one and then have the next two, the next time we meet, be how the parasympathetic works and how we can get it to work better, like all the different things. I wonder. Really digging into it.
Because here's a question. Are we going to tell people what to do?
Like breathe and stretch or whatever the hell you're supposed to do. Yeah, there's all this stuff to do to make that work, right? That people can help it function and turn it on. And we can say energetic things too and tools, but there's like actual physical things you can do.
Yeah, it's like breathing in a paper bag.
Oh, is that why it works?
That's why it works.
Why? Less oxygen.
More carbon dioxide.
So that makes these are the things that need to be on there. Why does that work? You know it.
A paper bag is supposed to increase your CO2 and bring you down from hyperoxygenation.
We could just mention it and say, look, in the next two shows, we're going to be talking about in depth how the physiology of this works and the energetics of this works for stimulating their parasympathetic and destimulating the sympathetic. Right now, in this show, we're talking about like what's the value of that,
Yes,
we get to have connection.
Well, okay, so if you want to go back far enough, you're already directly connected to your mother. That's your first experience of life. Already being fully protected and fully connected. And then you get born and you're disconnected. Boom, you are now separate. The beautiful thing is that the mother is producing a shit ton load of oxytocin, which reconnects you. Even though you're now physically separate, the oxytocin reconnects you, reestablishes that strong bond and connection, which means mothers who go through cesareans don't have the same deep, strong connection because they don't get a chance to really amp up their oxytocin levels often.
So, and this is a different subject than the one we just talked about stimulating the parasympathetic. This is oxytocin. I wonder how detailed do you want to get? Do you want to talk about oxytocin here?
So connection does include, so we've got some different subheadings.
Yeah.
Connection does include the vagus nerve because that rest and digest increases the oxytocin in our love and acceptance and oxytocin experience in our adult lives.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So should we go in depth about oxytocin the next 2 episodes and just say that? Look, we're going to talk about
Sure.
vagus nerve. We're going to talk about oxytocin in more detail. But it's important to say it because it's very relevant to this conversation.
Mm-hmm.
But we're like giving them a taste. Like, this is why you want to listen to the next 2 and really be developing these practices.
You're absolutely right. Thank you for that distinction.
Yeah. Yeah. So how the sympathetic and the parasympathetic work and how that helps us connect and reconnect, and also oxytocin and how that helps us connect. More on this next 2 episodes. So important. And it is relevant. Why? And the fundamental question in my world is these next 2 things. Why is it relevant? Why is connection relevant to growth? Yes. Awesome. So we have plenty to talk about, and we'll go in detail of physiology next time. But connection is central to growth. Okay. We're all happy?
Very. Let's take a short break.
Let's give a shout out to our sponsors. Thank you, We Are Storkley, for your conscious human apparel.
This is Wendy from Graceful Soul Academy, and I'd like to invite you to our upcoming Thursday night active meditation play shops. They're a comfortable and nurturing environment for you to delve deeper into your own soul, beneath your everyday consciousness, and make change. In October, we are focusing on soul integrity. But really, what does that mean? How does that help? Some things it means are align with the truth of your own soul. Savor your spiritual connection. Live a life that makes sense to you. Please come as my guest, and I look forward to seeing you soon.
Raise your vibration and energize your life with specialized Fibonacci tuning forks that deepen meditations and empower self-healing. Get your vibrational sound tools for personal enhancement at energybodytuners.com.
Do you know the body has the ability to heal itself? This is an amazing gift that we all really take for granted. Think about it. When you cut your finger, do you have to focus on clotting the blood? It does so automatically and with no conscious effort on your part. That's not only true for scrapes, but it's true for everything about your body. In fact, if you have a condition that your body is struggling to heal from, then it doesn't have the tools necessary to overcome it and be whole. I specialize in discovering the cause of symptoms so that the body can heal itself. Clients feel better, move better, and live better. Call, text, or email. Live by heart today.
Hi, I'm Darius Wilrich. I instruct an online video course that teaches anyone how to play jazz piano like a pro with my proven step-by-step system that makes it simple to learn. Jazz Piano Pro Essentials. Learn the quickest way to start memorizing and playing scales today. Download my free Quick Start Guide.
So last week's show was cultivating connection, And I want to continue that idea of cultivating connection with the vagus nerve. So, if I remember correctly, we were cultivating connection with our external, with a more external focus. And the vagus nerve would be our internal cultivating connection.
And the vagus nerve's main thing is it helps us get to the rest and digest.
Mm-hmm. Though people don't know that. That's the main thing it does, but they don't talk about that in that way.
It's like peaceful path within. It's like, how do we connect it within without with peace, with ease, with safety?
Mm-hmm.
I know that's not the thing.
And the vagus nerve is the pathway.
Yeah, it's the pathway.
It's the physical thing to get us those non-physical results.
Yeah. Hello. Oh, you're an angel. Thank you. Hey, this is my friend Pat. You wanna say
We
hi?
can't see Pat.
Come here. This is
Hi,
my
Pat.
friend Pat. He comes and goes. Here we go.
He has to put his head right next to yours.
he disappears too.
Hi,
That's so
Pat.
funny.
They're like a guardian angel over your shoulder. I'm a Cheshire cat.
So awesome. Yeah.
That's hilarious. She's got angel
Thank
wings.
you. He brought me a little snack. I just love him. Love. Yeah. So like, it's like the peaceful pathway. It's like the pathway to peace from within.
Ooh, that's a good title.
Pathway to peace.
Whether we use it for this show or not, it's just a good title. So the notes that I have written says next show ideas, parasympathetic mode, physiologically, why is connection relevant to growth?
Mm-hmm.
And then I have in parentheses, recalibrate.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so we were talking about growing in show 67. And if you're in the sympathetic nervous system response, growth is not a priority. In fact, it's not even an option. So when you're sympathetic, everything is about get all the energy we possibly can right now because we have to use it to make sure this physical body survives.
Mm-hmm.
So it doesn't matter if your arm gets cut off, right? The rest of you still goes and you don't notice your arm is missing,
Mm-hmm.
right? There is no growth. There is get all the energy you possibly have available to you because we need it all right now. You're draining absolutely every reserve you have. This is life or death right now. And people don't realize that the stress response is life or death right now.
Yeah.
And they live that constantly. They live life or death right now over a long period of time.
Please say that, because that contextualizes this. That's like, and also step by step, the whole, we were talking about cultivating connection outward. What is the foundation for this within us? Today, that's it. It's the pathway to peace.
Let's think about this also in relation to the oxytocin, because oxytocin, so these shows are about connection, right? We're talking about growth, and growth happens through connection. So this show, we're going to talk about the physiology required to connect and to grow. And because stress is life or death right now, that's not growth and that's not connection. Or we can put a little spin on it. It's connection to what's wrong, not connection to what's right.
Right.
Could we substitute healthy and unhealthy for right and wrong?
Well,
Or is it appropriate, inappropriate?
I'm saying connection to what's wrong, because if you're under stress, there's a threat to your physical survival. And that's what your brain is desperately trying to decide: what is trying to kill me right now that I need to address and remove. And that's what I mean by what's wrong. Because does that make sense?
That
It's
that
not,
makes sense in that context. Yeah.
yeah, it's not good,
Something's
bad. It's,
something's wrong here.
yes.
What is it?
It's something
Yeah.
something is threatening my survival, and that's something that has to be addressed right now.
Got it. Got it. From that standpoint, it makes total sense. Okay.
And so we live in judgment
Yes.
in that space. All right. Well, I was just going to the vagus. What we're doing now first is the vagus goes to safety, peace. And then from there, the oxytocin goes from a safe, peaceful place to love. I don't know. Is that right? Is that because this is your thing? So
Yeah. So it's sort of right. You can think of it as the oxytocin being the cement.
mm-hmm.
So the connection is made, right? It's like you take two pieces of paper and you put them together, but then they can easily come apart. But if you put the oxytocin of cement in there, then they stay together. Does that make sense?
Yeah. So but it has us notice that we're together, and then it keeps us together it bonds us. It's bonding.
It's the bonding. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
it's the bonding. So we started with stress is life or death right now.
Mm-hmm.
Wendy mentioned the pathway to peace, and I jumped into oxytocin is the glue. So we're trying to come up with a title for show 1 about the vagus nerve.
Right. And what do you think about pathway to peace?
I think it's great, and I think we also should consider then what show 2 title would be. We've got a pathway to peace, and then the pathway to love, or the pathway to acceptance, or maybe that's too many pathways.
So we're not going to go with what happens in Vegas.
I was thinking that.
Very funny. It's very funny. For the second one, it's bonding and belonging.
Yes.
Belonging, bonding our belonging, something.
You like ties that bond?
Yeah, and that opens up our what have we learned so far? Is that getting us the connection that's real and we want? Or is it time to, reformat our disc and have bonding and connections that work for our lives? I mean, like, it's not just oxytocin, it's, how do we utilize this to make our lives less fucking drama and more and more satisfying. And people who are raised in a healthy way just naturally do it. Naturally avoid the drama and enjoy the bonding. And
go straight to the bonding. That's me, baby.
Yeah. And then others of us have a lot of
I'm so glad you said that, because I just had a realization about that in particular. Do you remember I've said to you before, one of the things I love to have and do in my life is to establish a multi-level relationship with people?
Yes.
Like for you, you're my healer. We're also, sharing this show, and we're friends, and
Mutual healings.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Like for me, that is a really strong bonding.
And then there's the whole paradigm of transactional analysis, where we're always looking, are we dealing with child, adult, parent, and from this side and that side, and who's talking to who, and it changes. And
Is there something else you wanted to say about this kind of relationship, Wendy?
I still have stuff about staying in communication and how useful that is.
I meant, keeping boundaries with.
I think that's enough. I mean, we could have a whole show about boundaries, but
Yeah, we could.
I think I don't we need to go into it. Is there anything you wanted to share about?
So I recommend looking at the purpose in relationships
Mm-hmm.
and redirecting focus and attention to that.
Yeah, and that might be a really helpful thing. We were saying last time about curiosity, but like really noticing the purpose. What's going on? Why are we together? What are we learning? Whatever relationship it is.
And that would be the dividends you get from bonding with other people and the benefits from living by heart. Thank you, Wendy, and thank you to everyone who is with us today. If you're watching, please let us know. We want to hear from you, and you can tell us what's on your heart by leaving us a comment. For more information, please go to livebyhearttoday.com. Like and follow this page and turn on notifications so you don't miss any of our programs. We're here every Thursday at 4:44 Pacific time. From our heart to yours, we're creating a better tomorrow because we live by heart today.
And that concludes this portion of
Live by Heart Today!
Thank you for watching. View more episodes on our YouTube channel. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Thank you, We Are Storically, for your conscious human apparel. Shop online at wearestorically.com.
Hi, I'm Darius Wilrich. I'll teach you everything you need to know about playing jazz piano like a pro with my 12-week online video course and downloadable guidebook, Jazz Piano Pro Essentials. Enroll today at jazzpianopro.com.
Thank you for joining us. Have a happy always. Visit our website to view more episodes.